Welcome everybody to another edition of the Wrestling Sit and Talk. I am back with my friend here, Victor, and
You-
we're here, sir. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
Above ground today. Above ground. Yeah. So today it's simple episode. We're gonna review the matches. We're gonna give them grades, and we're gonna talk about the jam-packed episode of Raw, and we're just gonna go from
Oh
there.
yeah,
All
sounds
right. Well,
good.
let's. All right, you ready to dive on in?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, let's start off with the opener. We have the Ring General Gunther defending his world title against Jey Uso, and Jey picks up the dub via submission. What is
That
your
was a
grade for
surprise.
this?
I I would grade it a B. I had low expectations of this match, knowing that it wasn't going to be a main event, but it 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 did what it had to do. Got Jay as champion.
You said you were surprised. What surprised you?
The tap out. I did not expect to see Gunther tapping out.
Gunther tapped out and crashed out the next night. A couple of days later, crashed out, but we'll get to the crash out.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I give it a C plus. I give it a C plus. I thought it was fine. Um, it's a match I saw numerous times. Wasn't that much different beside the Jay winning by sleeper. But yeah,
First time he won.
I give it a C.
Yep.
You said first time he what?
First time he's actually beat Gunther.
Yeah, yeah. Gunther. We'll talk about Gunther here in a little later on in the episode. But let's go ahead and glide on over to Jade Cargill getting revenge against Naomi, and Jade picking up the dub. Um, I give this match a B minus. Um, I thought the in ring work was pretty good between the two. What about you?
I give this match I think a B minus as well. They both had strong showings in the match. There wasn't one person dominating the other one for the entire match, and the right person won, in my opinion. Jade won.
I agree. I agree. Okay. Not much to say about that match. Let's go ahead and move on. I believe the World Tag Team Championships were on the line for Raw. The Bude versus
Ooh.
the Warriors, and the Bude walked away with the W. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give this match a D.
I'm gonna give it a
I,
D minus if I'm being honest. I
yeah,
came into this match expecting something to happen
really.
in this match because there was no reason for this match to be on the Mania card, and it did not meet expectations.
I, I had zero expectation for this match, especially after they announced the Triple Threat Tag Title match for SmackDown going to be on will be on SmackDown tomorrow. I'm like,
Yep,
why wasn't that on the card? Like that should have been on the card instead of this. I didn't pay a lot of attention to that
100%
match.
should have been.
I think I went and got food while I was playing on my phone. Uh yeah, not a whole lot to say about that match. The next match is we had Ray Phoenix making his Wrestlemania debut against the greatest luchador ever, El Grande
Dominic Mysterio was in this match.
Americano. We're not talking about him just yet. We're talking about El Grande Americano with the clean 1, 2, 3 victory over Ray Phoenix. This match gets a A.
Clean. What match were you watching?
The same as you were, I thought.
Absolutely not. There was nothing clean about that win. You must
That's just
have
you
been to
hate.
the bathroom or getting food or something because there was nothing clean about that win. I give
I
this
didn't
match
see
a
him cheat
C
at
minus.
all.
Yeah, of course you didn't because you're Grande Americano's number one fan.
El Grande Americano made his Wrestlemania debut and won. You should be happy.
I shouldn't.
You should be.
Why should I be?
Anyway,
They sacrificed Ray Phoenix for El Grande Americano to win. There's
or
nothing good
Ray
about that.
Phoenix, or Ray Phoenix sacrificed himself for El Grande Americano. Next, we have the United States Championship champion LA Knight. Yeah, went
Yeah,
in and defended against the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu. And we have a new United States champion.
yeah.
What
Before
is
we
your thoughts
start
on this
talking
match?
about this match, I want to hear you tell me that I was right.
About what?
When we first talked about this a few weeks ago, I said if no bloodline interfered, Jacob Fatu would win, and you laughed in my face, sir, when I said that.
No, I laughed because you gave a cop out answer. You was like, well, if Solo interferes, LA Knight's going to win, but if Solo doesn't interfere, you gave two answers to a question that would have been one answer.
At the end of the day, I
I,
said Jacob Fatu was winning.
and I said Grande was going to win. So what's your point?
I'm just saying I was right. That's
And
all
so
I'm
was I.
saying.
And I want you to say El Grande is the second greatest luchador ever.
You will never hear me say that because that is not true. We
Hey,
got
let's just hate.
Phoenix better than him. Penta is better than him. Heck, even that deadbeat Mysterio is better than him.
Okay, you're getting a little ridiculous. A little ridiculous here. I give this match a B plus. That
I give
moonsault
it,
into the BFT.
oh yeah, I give it an A minus. It was pretty good. One of the best matches of night one, in my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair. I was glad this did not have bloodline. I'm glad it was no Solo or Tonga. Oh, did you hear apparently that Tonga is going to be having surgery?
I did hear that. I did. Apparently, he got beat up pretty badly by LA Knight last Friday.
That's your guy.
Who? LA Knight?
Yeah, yeah.
I never claimed him to be my guy. Dominic
Well,
Mysterio, that's my guy.
that we'll get to Dirty Dom and we'll get to Dirty Dom in a minute. And oh boy. Oh. Next up, we have Tiffany Stratton as the women's champion versus Charlotte Flair. This match gets an F.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not very good at
You,
all.
as long as you've known me, you know I am a Charlotte Flair fan.
Oh
I
yeah.
hated this match. I hated this match. Not because she lost. This just felt like two people that were told to, hey, you guys need to work with each other, and they just did it because their boss told them to. I didn't feel like there was
There
any care. Go ahead.
absolutely no chemistry between the two. I've seen a lot better matches on a NXT or AEW. for a matter of fact, than Charlotte versus Tiffany.
Yeah. Tiffany with the win. She retains her title. One would assume, hopefully, this is over between her and Charlotte, and
Only
Tiffany
hope.
can move on. Huh. Tiffany can move on to. Well, that's a good question. Who's next? I guess we'll probably find out tomorrow.
Yeah,
All right, and then we had our main event, triple threat main event for the soul of wrestling. We had CM Punk with Paul Heyman at his side versus the OTC Roman Reigns and the visionary, the revolutionary Seth freaking Rollins. And we had Seth Rollins walk out with the win after some help
yep.
after Paul Heyman low blowed CM Punk after giving him a chair and low blowed his tribal chief. And Roman took the pin.
I'm not surprised by that.
Really, I had Punk taking the pin.
I
What
mean,
did you
I
think of
did
this
too.
match?
I thought it was great. I thought it needed everything that happened needed to happen. It was a main event caliber match. It felt like a main event.
What do you think about the Paul Heyman turn?
I thought it was the right time. He's done everything that he could do with Heyman, with Roman. He's done. Him and Punk were only going to be together for one night, and Rollins something new, something exciting, and a heel Heyman that we haven't seen in a while. So that's always nice to see.
I think he really needed a refresh. Seth Rollins, I feel like he was getting kind of stale. And I feel like Seth Rollins is one of those guys, he's really good at reinventing himself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that was our main event for night one. I'll give that an A. What about you?
A as well. Clearly
Huh?
the best match of night one.
Well, I mean, let's not forget El Grande Americano versus Ray Phoenix.
One of
I
the
mean
worst matches of night one. I'm still
you
trying
gotta
to forget about that.
let that hate go, young grasshopper. All right, well, we'll go ahead and move on to night two of WrestleMania with our other opener. We had Io Sky as the Women's World Champion versus Mommy Rhea Bloody Ripley versus Bianca Belair. This was the match of night two,
Oh yeah,
easily.
100%.
This match
I don't
gets an
know.
A plus.
I don't know if it was triple threat matches this year at WrestleMania, but they hit differently. And it might have just been the participants in those matches, but they did right.
Yeah, and Io pins Bianca, ending her WrestleMania streak.
Yep. Not surprised
Um,
by that. I call that.
I had Rhea taking the pin, but hey, I mean, I'm glad Io won. That was my main thing. Yeah, I give this match an A plus,
I give it
A
an A
plus.
as well. 100%.
Yeah. The next match we had Logan Paul, the person you like to compare yourself to, uh, versus AJ Styles. A Logan Paul wins because AJ refuses to go to the dark side. This was a good match. It was fair. I give it a C plus.
I give it a B minus. Still upset that AJ lost.
I'm not shocked he lost though.
Yeah, looking back at it, I'm not shocked either. But considering that this might have been AJ's last WrestleMania as well, I'm surprised that they didn't let AJ have this victory.
Well, remember we had this conversation when we did the prediction episode. Like and subscribe, by the way. We talked about. I had mentioned like, look, AJ doesn't need to win. AJ's done everything. He doesn't need to win. If you're gonna build Logan Paul needs to beat AJ Styles. The problem with Logan Paul is
Now the
he's
que-
part time.
yeah, now the question is, what are they going to do with that? Because right now, I don't see anything happening for Logan Paul on Raw.
I'm gonna make an early prediction. He's gonna end up wrestling Jay at SummerSlam
I can see that happening.
for the title. Um, yeah, like I said, I get this match a C plus. It was fine. Um, I would rather had Karrion Cross in this match, or you make it a triple threat match. Uh,
I mean, it would make things more interesting.
yeah, well, I mean, it was fine. Next we had Liv and Raquel defending their tag titles, representing the Judgment Day as they faced off against Lyra, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, and a mystery opponent, partner, excuse me, which we all found out to be the man, Becky Lynch. What's your grade on this?
I give this match a D.
Why?
It's it's it didn't do the tag teams justice, the tag team titles justice. It's like you already have a struggle to find tag teams to compete in this division, and then you go and give the belts to a makeup shift team, a team that was literally just made up like last minute over a team that's been teaming together for years and literally one of the few actual tag teams that you have. That just doesn't feel right with me.
Yeah, I didn't like this match because one, I thought Bailey should have been in this match. Bailey deserves a WrestleMania moment, and the fact that it was just like, hey, we're gonna push you to the side for Becky. And I don't hate Becky, I don't, but I'm like, I mean, I'll tell you when we do our Raw review what would have made more sense, but whatever. I agree. This match is D plus. Wasn't feeling it. Okay, let's move on to the Intercontinental. Actually, no. First, we'll go to Randy Orton,
Oh
mystery
yeah.
opponent, and unfortunately, Kevin Owens was unable to compete in this match due to his neck surgery. I hope he's doing better, or he has it, whatever the case may be. Um, but it was TNA World Champion Joe Hendry.
Yep.
Um, this was a short match. Um, I gave it a D plus. It was short. It didn't need to be long. It was a squash match. I
I
don't know.
would
What
give
about
it a
you?
I'd give it a C minus because it brought eyes onto Joe Hendry for those who don't watch TNA and who don't watch NXT because he's had a few runs in NXT, and for him to have a mania moment like he did against Randy Orton, that was pretty good for him. We all knew Randy Orton was going to win this match, no matter who it was. I'm just glad it wasn't someone like a Rusev or a Aleister Black, who a loss would have hurt their return.
Right, which is something we had also had spoken about. Yeah, it was fine. Orton had a nice little head pop. It was cool. Um, Next we had a fatal four way for the Intercontinental Championship. The badass Braun Breaker defending against Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And would you do the honors on saying who won this match, sir?
Dirty Dominic Mysterio finally got his WrestleMania victory. I'm not wrong very often, but I'm glad I was wrong on this one.
Oh yeah, I apologize.
I am sorry that I did not predict Dirty Dominic Mysterio to win this match.
You know who did?
Ooh. Oh yeah, you did.
This
Yep.
guy. This guy. I believed in Dirty Dom, and he pins Finn Balor. Big shock there.
No surprise there.
This was a great match, and I'm not even counting who won the match, but I give this match an A.
I'd give it an A minus. It was a good match. Everyone had moments in the match, and I'm glad that we had a new champion without Braun being the one getting pinned.
Which is why I thought the Fatal Four was perfect, and putting Finn Balor in there was made it easier. And it was a good finish. It was almost kind of the finish that I thought it was going to be, but not exactly. But it was still good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Da-da-da-da. I think I covered everything but the main event, right?
Yep.
For night two, yeah. Okay, yeah. There we had John Cena for number 17 versus Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. And Travis Scott came out, interfered, and Cena's your champion.
Yep. Everyone saw that coming, right?
Yeah. I, this match would have been better as an opener. I didn't care for this match. I give it a C.
I I give it a B minus because
Why is that?
everything that John Cena said was going to happen. Everyone wanted Rock to be a part of this match. We didn't get that. Everyone wanted Cena to come out with a big flashy entrance. We didn't get that. We got absolutely nothing, which is what John Cena said was going to happen. And he took that belt and he walked away, ruining everyone's um, kind of mania.
But you know what was weird? That like Cody was getting booed.
Yeah,
Cody was getting booed in this match. And I think if WWE does it right, you could turn Cody like into Homelander Cody and just crash out.
it'd be refreshing to see a heel Cody Rhodes, a heel main event Cody Rhodes.
That's a difference. But yeah, that was Mania. Our Mania for review and graded of the matches. I thought WrestleMania was fine. Overall, it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't the greatest Mania ever, but it wasn't the worst. It was good. I was entertained for 95% of it.
I thought it was good. A lot of people are comparing it to WrestleMania 40 last year, which was so great. And it's hard to compare something so great and then expecting it to be even greater.
Right, and let's not forget Stone Cold almost taking out a fan with his ATV.
No, that was pretty funny.
Oh shit! You know what? I did forget a match.
What?
The Sin City Street Fight. Drew
Oh, yes.
McIntyre. Drew
Drew.
McIntyre versus Damian Priest and Big Drew with the win. Drew definitely needed this win.
100%. He needed it after the year he had last year.
I'm hoping they build him back up instead of just like maybe him and Priest might have another match. I could see down the road maybe, or maybe I backlash. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about Raw as we get ready to wind this episode down. Let's talk about Raw. Uh, John Cena walks out with the championship, berates the fans, and he gets it with an RKO.
No surprise there.
No surprise there. It looks like we're getting Randy versus Cena.
I love that.
Except Cena's the heel and Randy's the face. What do you think about this?
I'm really looking forward to this match, especially it being in Randy's hometown of St. Louis. Man, that crowd is going to eat Cena up.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good segment. It did what it needed to do. I didn't have any problems with it. Um, let's see. We had Rusev make his return,
Oh yeah, Rusev Day.
decimating Alpha Academy. Yes, can't stand Alpha Academy. Um, kind of curious to see what they do with him. What do you think is the plan of action for Rusev?
Um, Hopefully they give him a couple wins against jobbers such as Akira or maybe Otis. Maybe give him a win or two against Theory or Grayson before giving him anything solid for a storyline.
You know who I'd like to see him feud with when he comes back?
Bronson Reed.
Dragunov.
Oh, okay, yeah,
That'd be good.
Dragunov. Oh,
Ooh,
another good one.
Braun Reed, that's a good one. Um, one of the matches we only had three matches on this episode of Raw, but one of the matches was Liv and Raquel trying to reclaim their women's tag team championship after they have prepared for a Bailey and Lyra match, and they got Becky. Now they were more prepared for Becky, and we have new women's tag team champion, Liv and
This
Raquel.
this just makes it even worse. And it makes no sense, in my opinion. Like, why crown new champions if you're just gonna give it back to the former champions the very next night? Like, that just makes your tag division even look even worse than it already is.
They wanted to turn Becky heel.
They couldn't have done that at WrestleMania?
Here's what I would have done. Kept Bailey and Lyra as a tag team, have Bailey and Lyra win the tag titles, then have Becky come down to the ring, join the match on Raw if you wanted to have them do a rematch. Have Becky come out there thinking Becky is going to help because of her history with Liv. Come out there, screw Lyra and Bailey. Boom. Now you got three people that you can involve in the IC women's title feud that can help elevate that title. And you didn't screw Bailey out of her WrestleMania.
That would have been nice. That absolutely would have been nice. There are a lot of people complaining and having an issue with Bailey being taken out of the match when there was really no need for it. She wasn't injured. It's not like it hurt Becky having a match. or, having to wait for her return on the next night.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's whatever. Liv and Raquel are four-time women's tag champions, the most in women's tag history, which is not very long, but it's still four times. It's four times.
Yep.
Next we had probably my match of the year. We had Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer in a banger of a match.
I
What
like
did you
how
think of
how
this
they
match?
I like how they made it a non-title match. That way, it didn't seem too obvious about who was going to win or who was going to lose. It needed to be a non-title match, and it got eyes on Stephanie Vakir on the main event roster, which was really nice as well. They had a banger of a match. Banger.
I I love this. I loved everything about this match. This match was great. Of course there was no finish because Miss Roxanne, who bounces from show to show to show, and Julia screwed this match up, which is fine. It keeps both women strong. It's probably going to set up something for the Evolution pay per view that's been rumored, and Mommy came out and chased them all away. We might get a Julia and Mommy match at some point.
Now, that would be crazy if we did.
We might get some type of. I think you could get a tag match. Maybe Rhea and Stephanie, or Io and Stephanie against Roxanne and Julia. Um, Not sure, but I'm down for any combination of that.
I'm all for it. Those four would put on a great match together.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Then we had Jay Uso 20-minute celebration, which I was totally fine with. Yeet. Uh, Sami Zayn makes his return, and he's
Yeah.
just loving on Jay. Oh, just giving Jay all these praises, and they get to the ropes, and they're yeeting, and they're but Sammy, uh, the Sammy looked like he was a little upset. Sammy looked like he was a little upset. He wanted the title, I think. Um, I I was waiting for Sammy to turn on Jay,
I
which
felt
goes
that
back to the
too. I was watching this segment happen, and and in the back of my mind, I was like, Sammy's gonna turn. He's gonna challenge Jay. It's gonna be his first title defense, and it'd be great for both Jay and Sammy. And it didn't happen.
it could still happen. I think a lot of it has to do with the whole cross situation. Um, I was talking to, I think it was Cruel who I mentioned maybe a stable between Cross and AJ and Sammy. Um,
I really hope that it's a better stable than the last ones Cross had, because the last stable that Cross had did absolutely nothing for Cross.
they didn't really do anything for that group within each other, but putting Cross with guys like Sammy who they love and AJ who they love could help Cross so much.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, nothing happened here. Big Jim comes out. Sammy and Jim they're celebrating, but Sammy just has that jealousy. I think he's jealous. All right, we'll move on to after that. I believe it was a commercial break, and we had the ring general Gunther berating the announce team for their disparaging remarks about him tapping out at WrestleMania. And Michael Cole got yoked up, put in the choke. McAfee went and saved his friend, and McAfee got put to sleep by
I,
Gunther.
I thought I thought this segment was really funny watching McAfee's guys trying to get to Gunther like they're gonna do something, and security instead of trying to help get Gunther off of McAfee, they're trying to keep McAfee's boys away. They're like, go back, go, keep away. I'm like, who's gonna help McAfee if security isn't gonna help him?
Michael Cole should have been there trying to help. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
What
I
was
mean, I know
Michael
he
Cole
got
gonna
choked
do?
up.
He's a twig. He's a twig. He
But
got his mouth
what do you think they're doing with this? You think they'll suspend him?
suspended. Yeah, for a couple of weeks. Have him return, and fingers crossed we get a McAfee match out of this.
I don't know if I want to see a McAfee Gunther match though. You actually want to
I
see
mean,
McAfee and Gunther?
a little bit. Knowing McAfee, he isn't gonna take this down, laying down. He he's a prideful man at the end of the day, and he's not gonna be okay with someone pulling his punk card out.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right, well then we get on to the last match of the night. We have Dirty Dominic Mysterio defending his shiny new IC title against Penta, and Dirty Dom with the win thanks to a returning JD McDonough. Finn didn't look
Yes.
too happy. I thought it was
Thank
a fine match.
thank the Lord they did this match justice by having JD be the defining factor in this match, interfering, kind of keeping Penta strong, but also letting Dom keep his belt. Because no one wanted to
And it
see
makes Dom
Dominic
look good.
Mysterio. No one wanted to see Dom lose the belt in his first title defense.
I think he'll keep it for a few months.
Fingers crossed that he does.
All right, then we go on to the main event segment as we wind this down here. We have the main event segment with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman gloating over their success at WrestleMania. Punk said, fuck this, I've heard enough. Punk comes out there, he gets a stomp for his trouble. OTC says, all right, my turn. You know, he saw fucking Seth Rollins in half of despair. And then poor defenseless Paul Heyman was about to get destroyed, and Braun Breaker, the former IC champion, spears Roman, and then spears him through the barricade.
I love that
And
this
then they,
segment.
yes, and then they both get stomped for their troubles again. This was beautiful. Loved it.
I loved it. I love that. There's a new faction of main event caliber guys with Rollins and Braun. Now that he's done with the IC title stuff, they got a mouthpiece in Paul Heyman that could do the talking for him. Um, and it started something new for Roman and Punk, because now they have an adversary to go after in Rollins and Baker, and it's something that we haven't seen yet. Rollins and Breaker teaming together. and Roman and Punk teaming together.
I think they add somebody else.
Who would you
I
add?
don't know who. Who would I add?
Yeah,
It, will- it somebody that needs it. Another young guy, like a maybe an Austin Theory that
him
could
and Seth
use.
do have history.
Maybe an Austin Theory would work. Um, maybe Becky, but I mean, if you do add her, I think you still need to add a guy. Um, maybe if you call up Ethan Page,
That would be interesting. Ethan Page rolling with, Rollins and Breaker.
yeah,
But I think you're right. It would make most sense if you had Theory to that group if they were going to add a third person. But if you did that, what were you going to do with Grayson?
and maybe just have him start going on his own and building him up by himself.
I
Put him in
mean,
the
he's not
IC
a bad
division.
singles competitor. He's not bad
No, he just
as a
has to have
singles
fucking
guy.
matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, who would you add?
If I had to add a newcomer, a rookie, maybe someone from NXT, maybe not just one person, maybe Nathan and an Axiom, because you have to have in a group, you have to have a set of main events, single stars, and maybe a tag team to also compete in tag matches. So maybe that's where Nathan and Axiom could fit in if they get drafted to the main roster.
That'd be unique. But anyway, that was our WrestleMania grade and Raw review. I want to thank you, Mr. Victor, for joining us today on another episode. Glad to have you.
Absolutely.
Um, anything else you want to add real quick as we get ready to go?
One really quick thing before we leave. Have you seen the news about WWE buying Triple A? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, I think it's a great move. Um, hopefully this will help them book luchadors better.
Yes, please, Lord.
I mean, Dominic and El Grande can't do it on their own. Um, they definitely need. Hopefully it leads to better booking, new faces. I could see them maybe fusing with NXT.
Yeah, they're already having a Worlds Collide AAA event the day of Money in the Bank, so that should be
Oh,
interesting.
okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, I like it. It helps. But yeah, that is all we have time for today, folks. I am what they call a Suji. I am here. Please follow the Wrestling Sit and Talk YouTube page. Like and follow. Victor, thank you again for joining us, and we will more than likely have you back on again for something.
Looking forward to it.
Peace, hair grease, and something about the Middle East, and love and prosperity, all that jazz.
You